Steve and Jill here.
Good day.
Welcome to the House Academy Show, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Utah, who can't speak today.
Nope. And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how brokers have their pulse on all these little micro housing markets all over the country.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Julie wrote, and I guess this is a repeat from last week, but
yeah, it's so important because you know what, it's very timely. So I wanted to put the question in there again to see if because I think we're going to.
Our answers might change.
Because it did change.
Okay,
because the environment changed.
Okay. All right. So this is a question we answered last week, but we're repeating it this week and you'll see why. And the title of it is Price Offer Adjustments / Percentage Due to the Global Crisis of the Coronavirus. How is everyone adjusting their offers for land and houses due to the situation, global crisis / stock market plummeting, etc.? I was ready to send out a land and house mailer, but now should I adjust my offers? What percentage are you offering now on land, on houses? Any suggestions? Greatly appreciated.
So maybe one of the hottest topics we're getting right now. How should I change my land business? Specifically, how do I adjust my mailers based on the environment?
Right.
And so, yes, I think that number one, everybody's got a list of properties that they've been working.
Right.
If you're in the business already, you have a list of properties that you've been working, and maybe some of those transactions didn't work because of price. You know, I think I'm sure that's our number one reason we pass on property, not because it's bad.
Yeah, no, unless there's something glaringly obvious, or price.
Right. So I think now is the perfect time to take that old list and run through it again and say, hey, this property, this house that I sent an offer out on this house for $122,000. The guy came back at $160,000 and he's happy to do it. Now it's $122,000. In fact, now it might be $98,000.
Yeah. And they're probably reaching out to you. And that's the other thing, be ready for it if it hasn't already happened. They might be calling you back going, remember that offer you made for me 6 months ago? Would you still honor that? Yeah. Or change it as needed. My other thing I was going to say, what's doing a little bit differently is being even more picky. I'm talking about that too. Again, there's so many deals out there and more are coming. If you don't believe that, watch what happens. Because people are going to need cash. These extra properties, a lot of people are buying, a lot of people can afford to buy properties. And there's a healthy balance of people who need the cash more than the property. Maybe they have several. So watch. I want you just to be real picky about the properties and make sure you only pick up the really, really good ones. That's what I'm doing personally too.
Keep in mind, I think the real question within this question now, this week, not even last week, is, I'll use my example again. I sent an offer out for, I think I said 130. Seller came back at 160. We all forgot about it because we couldn't get together on price. Now, in Jill's scenario, the seller's coming back saying, hey, how about now? 130 sounds pretty good. No, 98 sounds better. Here's the real question that you have to ask yourself, and you need to do it. It helps me to do it with Jill. So however you get it done in your life, that is fine. But the question is, the nagging question is 98 really good enough?
Right.
Am I really going to be okay at 98 or is it 78?
Right.
Oh, the guy's saying yes at 78. Is that good enough? Is it going to go lower?
It's a tough one.
It's not beating we're no longer beating the seller up. And if we ever were, we're just adjusting to reality.
And making sure what we feel good about.
Yeah.
That's reality. It's like, and that's how you should be looking at every deal on your right. I want you to go into these deals knowing that I feel great at this number. I don't care what happens to the climate around here. I know that I'm going to be just fine. If that's in my inventory for 6 months, not that it would be, but if that's in my inventory for whatever days, am I going to be comfortable with that? And actually, I have a few transactions right now, totally serious, that are they're land transactions that I said, you know what? No, I was backing off, going, I don't like it. I didn't want to be that guy. So now the seller's saying, he really is saying, what would you pay? And I'm like, well, you know what? And I'm honestly saying, you know what? At this price, I don't care what happens. I will buy it. And so you can do that.
So this is now an interview for you because I know the deals you're talking about and I know
Right.
you're doing it right.
Yeah.
What did you do what are you doing now that you wouldn't have done in the past? What tools are you using, if any, to get you comfortable?
Brokers.
Done. So that's what this topic's about. And we didn't plan this. Brokers have their pulse on the micro market. So Jill's pulling in a broker, maybe more than one, I'm not sure, on these transactions to give her a sense of what you want is sentences that are people that are real local that have done a bunch of deals. And they're every day their phone's ringing or it's not ringing. And so now you're getting information from a micro local source
Right.
to make a good decision. So you want a broker to say, you know what, if you can get this at, I know you guys were talking, again, it's the same numbers. If you can get this at, 78, I can sell it for 92 right now. I got a guy who's got cash.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kinds of statements. That's really what this show is about. So
Let's do that.
yeah. Today's topic, brokers have their pulse on micro market changes. This is why you're listening. So to continue that talk, in times like these, your regular due diligence, you have to add some stuff
Yes.
to your regular due diligence.
Add a layer or
Yeah.
two.
And why? Because you want to make sure that the price that you're reoffering is going to work out for you just as quickly, hopefully, and just as expediently or efficiently as possible during times like these. You're going to see less buyers out there, especially for houses. Although I will say this on houses, I just checked mortgage rates. We're only a couple weeks into this. Mortgage rates are hovering. They can be hovering around 2.5%.
I have to add something though that I'm seeing reported, and it's in social media, which I love. We have a lot of Land Academy and House Academy Facebook groups, and I'm seeing more than one person saying this is the greatest thing on the planet because the buyers that I'm talking to right now are real buyers. I have a lot less tire kickers. I'm only talking to real buyers with the cash. I'm like, this is like beautiful. All those tire kickers are home hoarding what they can, and the real buyers are like, let's make it happen.
There's a ton of retired people out there where this is no change for them.
Right.
They already have.
They've been waiting for it.
Well, they're just retired. They've been living their life the way that us people who work for a living. They woke up today and they haven't gone to work for 10 years and they have resources, whatever resources they have. By the way, they know a ton of other retired people who have all these resources. And a lot of them have owned companies or do own companies. And they're looking around going, this is the greatest real estate. We used to be buying and selling these houses for 200 grand. They're 80,000 now. How can you lose on this? And they're right. So those are the things you want to start to get. And these local brokers, a lot of them, especially in the land business, they know these guys.
Oh yeah. It's great.
I can't say this enough. This is a really positive thing for us.
So what we're talking about with this topic is the layer with the brokers. I don't think a lot of people know this. Brokers will, especially there's brokers and agents, will for free have a phone call with you. They would love to do that. That's their business. Because if you're a seller, they want to represent you and they want to, post your property for sale. If you're a buyer, obviously they want to represent you and help you get the deal done. So that's one of the layers that I'm adding. And this whole topic right now started because this deal I was going to close last week, I thought, I was ready to do it. I was all ready. I mean, it was like down to the wire, ready to wire the money. That was the only thing left. And I waited over the weekend just to see how it went because I wanted to have one more conversation with this broker on Monday morning just to see if his attitude or thoughts about the property had changed from Friday to Monday. I called him on Monday. He's like, you know what? I'm not feeling it exactly with this area at this price. And here are the reasons why. So I think we can do this. And he went down. It was a buy for 20, sell for 70. And he's like, now it's a buy for 20, sell for 50, which is still not crazy. But we're also looking at, there were some other flaws on the property. They said, I want to let you know, I went back a second time and looked at it. And here's what's really going on. So I'm like, I really took that to heart. And I'm sharing with everybody going, you guys use these guys to your advantage. And so the conversation that we had led to, I'm like, all right, well, what is selling? All right. He's like, well, here's what you need to know. This county and this county and this county. This is the price range. And by the way, the price range was between $150,000 and $250,000 was a sweet spot. Not hundreds, thousands. And he's like, and I said, I expect my business to triple right now. And I'm like, ding, ding. I heard that. So I want you to take advantage of that. Add this layer. If you're worried about it or not sure about an area, because like the rest of us, you're doing houses, even though you have boots on the ground or you're your own boots on the ground here for House Academy, and you're reviewing these deals, they're there and available and happy to help.
Yeah, exactly. We're all kind of victims of thinking within our own head, so to speak. So let me give you an example of something that's very far reaching in the real estate environment, even for me, but it happens every day. Jill and I live on the ocean, on the Pacific Ocean in Los Angeles in the Little Beach community. And every time she and I walk along the beach, and everybody in this whole community, we all talk about it, especially at night, maybe 50% to 80% of the houses are dark. They're all closed up and dark. And so ever since I moved here, I've always tried to find out why, like talk to people. And we as we get more friends, I ask these questions, and I'm really finding out now. I found out probably a year ago that people pay cash for these houses, and they don't use them. They don't do anything to them, actually. They kind of look at it as a bank account, because every 10 years or so, 10 or 15 years, the price of the house doubles. So if you spend $5 million on a beach house, you have no intentions of using it. It's not even worth it in a lot of cases to rent it out. And you double your money now in 10 to 15 years. Let's say you really buy it right, like we all do. And that property's worth $10 million in the next 10 years. There's no way you could put the money in a bank, or really, I think, even in the stock market, unless you have a lot of luck, and get that kind of return. So do you think those kinds of people, by the way, you can look up who owns all those people, the ownership of these properties through the tools that we have, especially NeighborScoop now, get their phone number and call them and talk to them about it. Mm-hmm. You think those people want more? Or do you think those people are going to be interested now, and you know how much they paid for these houses? If the market dips below that, this is just an example. I'm not saying go do this. Think about this example in your market, in your environment, because it exists somewhere. Do you think those people our eyes are a little bit wider this morning because they're looking for real estate markets and they want to buy more? Heck yes. So don't just hang your head and say, hey, the way that I've been doing this for 5 years, that's not, I'm done.
You should never do that, by the way.
If you think that, you are done and finished.
Yeah.
You got to really think outside the box.
Exactly. Happy you could join us today. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we are right here on the House Academy Show. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you can find us on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Media Consumption. You're consuming our media now, is up 60% during these times. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Everywhere I look is opportunity.
I agree.
It just requires a huge mindset. Can't stay in bed in the morning.
It's true.
For a couple of mornings, that's fine, but you got to get on a schedule and pound it out.
I agree. The House Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.